What's up? Streamer mode check. I actually just muted my Discord because there were so many notifications already that I might as well just mute it now. I'm just gonna turn on streamer mode anyways. You're in California? Whoa! Where in California? Yeah, there's a combo. Yeah, I'm using Mario rooms for this. So it's not like a perfect practice attempt, like for Worlds, I mean, comp sim, because I'm not going to use Mario rooms for that. But thanks for the sub, by the way. For 27 months, that's almost a year, dude. Almost. You're at LAX? Wow, you're so close. I've been to LAX many a time. It's a very common connection flight, yeah. It's like one of the biggest airports on this half of the US. You've been there twice? That's funny. Might have just scrambled that, but whatever. You know what? I might use... I think I'll use one of my normal palaces for this attempt. One of my first two ones. It's still 11 days until the first attempt. So I could do whatever palace I don't use today out of the first two. I could do the first attempt on that one. And then it'll be 13 days until I have to reuse the palace I used today. So I might actually do that. Because yeah, if I get like a bad result, it's gonna be like a question in my brain right now, like whether or not it was the Mario rooms, even though I've gotten good results on Mario rooms. Do you know Kevin Matthews, James? You know of him, okay. It's funny. I hung out in Vancouver right before last Worlds. Not really by choice, but that was where I got stuck for a day because of the typhoon. And I had like basically a 24-hour longer layover in Vancouver than I expected, so I just hit up Kevin Matthews and we hung out. Siggins Matthews swap, yeah. Yeah, Vancouver's cool. I liked it there. Vancouver, the way I described it when I visited, it's funnily is it's like a nicer version of Seattle. It feels a lot like Seattle for obvious reasons, but it's like Seattle that feels actually safe. Not that Seattle's like super unsafe, but they have some issues in Seattle that I'm sure all of you will see soon enough. Yeah, I have only met you twice, but yeah, You could have like known Kevin Matthews online or something just from talking a lot. Maybe I just thought maybe that was a possibility. As we have. It's kind of similar to NZ in some vibes. Seattle has definitely gotten way worse. Oof. I haven't been in a little bit. When was the last time I was in Seattle? Oh, I was in Seattle in October last year. But I didn't spend all that much time in Seattle itself. We like went camping in a cabin in the woods for most of it. Yeah, there's definitely a bit of like a homelessness problem in Seattle. And you'll probably, like, given that the comp is in downtown, I think pretty much everybody's going to get a good sense of that. Seattle has a lot of redeeming qualities, though. It's a very nice, pretty place. There's a lot of cool parks, scenery, good food. I have a friend, I don't know if he has like a pop-up pizza shop at an Italian restaurant really close to the convention center, but that was like years ago. I don't know if it's still at the same place. Isn't Seattle rainy? Not this time of year. Hey, thanks for the raid, Pulsar. And nice, probably a DNF. Just sneaking in here with a nice. Thanks for the raid, Pulsar. How was your stream? Thanks for the GL. Yeah, Seattle is normally very rainy. Also, what's up, Jasper? Seattle is normally very rainy and just kind of wet and dark. But this time of year is like very, very nice. This is like July is basically the only nice month of the year. July and like kind of August. For those of you who are going to Worlds who haven't left yet, bring a bathing suit. If you feel like going to a lake, they have lakes. Lakes with swimming areas and diving boards. It's really fun. You can get like paddle boards, go paddle boarding or canoeing or whatever. That was one of my favorite things to do in Seattle, because as a Southern California boy, almost all of my swimming is done exclusively in the ocean, and swimming in a lake is a interesting, different experience. I feel like I have to actually try to keep myself afloat because there's no salt water. Well, there's probably salt in the water, but a lot less than in the ocean. I don't know if that's actually true. It just seems like it. Because they are like connected to the ocean, I guess, those lakes. Maybe they're not technically lakes, I don't know. Might go sailing in the Sound. Fun. Big fan of sea life. I was just at the beach. Fun fact. What's up, Tripod? Tripod is also in the US. I've seen via Instagram. Let's go. Currently in the land of the free. You're no longer oppressed by the authoritarian government of Australia. Welcome. Just to be ultra clear, I'm completely joking, and this is an especially funny time to say something like that. Did you see your group sig and the stream schedule? No. Well, I saw that it was like released. I didn't like take any kind of close look at it. Rooting for Lachlan to win clock? Of course you are. I'm sure all New Zealanders are. All Kiwis. Does anybody say New Zealander? Is that like a weird thing to say when you can just call them Kiwis? Elbow can't hurt you here? I don't know what that is. Lachlan winning clock for sure. It seems like Lachlan is pretty good. But when it comes to Worlds, you gotta always factor in like big comp experience. Maybe he just is like one of those people who just doesn't deal with nerves, or doesn't have nerves to deal with in the first place for whatever reason. But I feel like inexperience can definitely switch things up a bit, even if someone is like clearly the favorite just from raw results. Albo's the Australian Prime Minister. I gotcha, okay. The repressor. At least in circles. Wait, what? Some people say it, yeah, but Kiwi's more common. Oh, okay. The only comp this year where Lackey didn't get OCR/world record, he was 0.01 off world record. Yeah, he's had insanely good results, it seems. Did he get an AO12 that's like sub WR2 average? I feel like he must have. He got sub WR2 average like 2 times in a row, I think, if I remember right. I'm a little nervous about this attempt, which I guess is good for comp sim purposes, but I'm nervous about it specifically because I feel like this is going to set the tone for my mind state. Because this is the only safety attempt I'm going to do to prep for Worlds. After this, I'm doing all 69 4 passes. And if this attempt is like not like over 50 points at least, it's going to be a little concerning. But, not to jinx it or anything, my 9 cube attempts yesterday were pretty solid. The memo wasn't super fast, but I basically did a 502 9 out of 9 first try, and then a 503 7 out of 9, both cubes pretty close, and then a 459 8 out of 9, off by just like one recall mistake on the last cube, I think. Did I tell you guys that I scrambled 5 out of 6 of Ro's official attempts last weekend? That was a lot. No dupes. What am I doing? I think I just did the most efficient way to regroup that into 8x8. Catching up with Brandon Lynn? Cool. Oh yeah, you're in New York. Cool. I was just there. 3x3 Worlds is gonna be crazy, yeah. Yeah, Yang got another sub 4 average. It was sub it at the time, okay. Then Volo improved. Oh, I didn't see that. Is that your plan for World 69? No. what makes this attempt a safety is that I'm going to 5-pass the first 32, 4-pass the next 16, 3-pass the rest. Where non-safeties are basically like one fewer review for everything. And when I'm doing non-safeties lately, I've been doing like 69, so I just call it like 4-passing 69. Right now I'm going to 5-pass 64. 5-pass 64 is very likely what I'm going to do for my first attempt at Worlds. If it's not great, like if it's not over 52 points, if it's not 52 points or better, I should say, I will probably do 5-pass 64 again for the second attempt. If it's like maybe if it's over 54 points, I will probably try like 67 for the second attempt and also 5-pass. I basically never 4-pass in comp. The cutoff for round 2, there is no round 2 in multi. There's one round with 2 attempts, and there's no qualifying for the second attempt like there was at Worlds last Worlds, thankfully. That was extremely dumb that they did that. They made a 14-point cutoff to qualify for the second attempt, and I DNF'd the first attempt. So, bada bing, bada boom. No attempt for me. But at Worlds this year, they're doing it the normal and correct way, where you just get 2 attempts. And that's it. What's everyone else here doing for multi? Like in chat? I guess they'll answer if that's what you mean. Also, I'm doing Slovakian weekly comp scrambles. I don't know if I mentioned that. 27 out of 37, best of 2. Dude, that's crazy you're doing 37 now. You've been grinding multi? Have you been like practicing at home a lot? Pretty cool. We love to see it. And I don't know if you saw my last comp, Ben, but my last comp is kind of similar, I would say. And I feel like that happens to everybody. You've withdrawn for multi? You just don't feel up to it, or what? Oh yeah. Dude, I never unpacked my site blockers. That's funny. Haven't done a big attempt since last weekend, so I haven't needed them. See you later, Cookie Robber. What's up, Wicked Green? But yeah, Ben, it happens to everybody. Hope you don't get too discouraged. You should look at like me and Andrew and Rose results from the Multimate 2 from last weekend. We basically all did horrible. Been doing 1 to 2 attempts weekly for a while. Oh, nice. That's a solid amount. I feel like that's a good amount to do. I would say if you want to like practice more than that, do like small attempts as well. I feel like small attempts is like, that's the thing that I discovered that helped me improve a lot. That like not many people were doing at the time when I started doing that. Oh yeah, I saw that you finally got multi officially, Dennis. Let's go. Didn't feel like packing multi-cubes. Oh yeah. That is the main thing, I would imagine. Do you advise to have 2 words for a letter pair? So there's less loci you need to trace through? I don't really understand the reasoning for that. I would not advise that. I'm pretty confident I can just say that that's inefficient. Hello from Mexico. Hello from the US. All right, I'm going to do this attempt. If you have more questions about multi, there's definitely people in chat who are good at multi who might be willing to answer your questions. But if you're still here afterwards, I can answer more questions then. Checked out FMC scrambles from that multi-comp. Turns out 1967 was possible, but it's pretty hard. Yeah, didn't Levi got like 20, 22, and then 27 or something, unfortunately. I think Levi like really choked that last attempt. Or maybe you're talking about finals, I'm not sure. With the square space in my luggage from not packing cubes, I was able to bring my pillow. Nice. Hopefully it helps you sleep. Alright. I'm going to start now. Whoa. Let's make sure this timer is working. Okay, see you on the other side. That was an extremely sketchy 3-blind cube. I hope I got it. Probably DNF that one move. No way. No way, no way, no way, no way. Is that perfect? No way. Wait. Oh my god, dude. Come on. Oh my god, dude. One move. I probably called that one, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, I'll check all of them. Dude, oh my god. Well, that would have been world... Oh, there's two. Dang, dude. 64 out of 64 would be world best, so I was hyped for a second. I could not see anything. Is there 3? 2 DNFs? Okay. Well, fuck yeah, that's good. A rare safety attempt at home and I get 60 points. Pretty dope. Okay. Dude, honestly, I kind of wish I did a little worse than that. Because that is going to be hard to not make my expectations super high for Worlds. God damn, dude. That attempt felt so casual. It felt so easy. Multi-blind is so weird, dude. That's my first big attempt since last weekend where my best attempt out of 6 was fucking 53 out of 65. Was that one move DNF the one that, was it the one... Oh, it wouldn't be world best, you're right. I did call that DNF. Okay, yeah. I forgot. World best is 64 points, not 63 points. So yeah, it wouldn't have beaten world best. Yeah, even if I got 64 to 64. Dude, that's so annoying. Yeah, I had a lockup in the middle of an alg. I tried to fix it, but I didn't. You lost 20k points, dude. Honestly, it was a smart bet to bet against 60 points. That's unlikely, but. Like on a given attempt, yeah, that's unlikely. But damn. Yeah, Speedy with the always relevant predictions. Damn, dude. That's pretty good. Thanks, James. Let's just hope that doesn't go away before Worlds. That was like perfect splits on everything, like exactly what I would hope for. The quintessential safety 64, except for having 2 DNFs. Yeah, world best is 65 out of 66 in like high 55 minutes or something like that. Oh. I'm not quitting multi-blind until I get a 64 out of 64. Specifically a 64 out of 64 feels like it would feel so satisfying. Yeah, 64 out of 64 would feel so cool. Okay, let's do 5 blind. I felt like I went so slow on execution. That's so funny, dude. Like, I didn't have any big pauses. I had some pauses here and there. Nothing like really bad, but a good chunk of like 5 to 10 second pauses, I would say. And I felt like I was turning so carefully. That was like the carefulest I would ever turn. And it was still 17:30 exact. What is that? 16. 1640 exec per cube. That's so funny. Got a PB FTO AO5. Let's go, dude. N out of N world best, I'm pretty sure is 60 out of 60. Pretty sure it's still 60 out of 60. And my best is 54 out of 54 from like 2019. That feels good. Definitely not doing any more safeties. I got pretty much exactly what I wanted out of that attempt. Like, just making myself feel like confident that I can do that. Dude, why is this like this? How do I make this go away? I should just chroma key this. Wait, no. I should, that's not right. Not chroma key, I should color key. Or, sorry, one sec. Just dealing with a thing. There. Cool. Oh yeah, I saw that. Ben, he sent it to the multi-blinders chat. What's your multi-blind prep routine like leading up to a major comp? Do you still do 1 attempt per day and or take some days off? I think it's probably like, so I have 6 palaces now. I think it's good to probably like not do any big attempts for like a couple days before the comp, even if they're on palaces that aren't ones you're going to use in the comp. But yeah, until Worlds, I'm probably just going to do attempts on my 2 palaces, my 2 Mario palaces that I will not use at Worlds. And I'm just not going to do anything else besides like small attempts on the 2 palaces that I will use for Worlds. And I won't do any multi at all after June 30th. I can't really, and if I wanted, because I'm leaving to drive up to Seattle on the 1st. Your only perfect attempts are like 2 to 6 cubes. Yeah, doing safeties is fun, but it's I will just warn, if you're gonna like do safeties, do not fall into the trap of like only doing safeties, because then you'll just get worse. It will like make your brain too used to like the training wheels. Crazy 60 pointer, thanks. You had a pretty bad attempt today. Was it official or just at home? Yeah, good 3 blind is really helpful for multi. Dude, that attempt was nerve-wracking through exec. It felt really good. And an event definitely felt doable. I'm going to need to figure out why I DNF'd by a 2 flip. I really hope this isn't what I think it is. This is either a mistrace or I broke into a flip wrong, because I did break into flips a couple times. Oops. A lot of confident DNFs? Huh. That's interesting. Like attempts where you feel good about it, like throughout, and then it's a DNF? Yeah, flat Mars. The 62 out of 64. My best on stream. Stream WB. 4 forgets, 9 confident DNFs. Oh, you mean confident single cube DNFs. Oh, yeah, that's not as bad. I was a little confused at first, but yeah, that's not nearly as concerning, but still, yeah, I know what you mean. So like you felt like the cube was very likely solved and it wasn't. Are your DNFs usually surprises or expected? It's a mix. I think definitely most often my DNFs are cubes I felt at least a little unsure about. It's a lot more rare to DNF cubes where I felt super confident that it's correct, but that does happen. Like at least a few times per attempt, probably. Maybe like at least a couple times per attempt. If I'm doing a safety attempt, hopefully there's no more than like 2 cubes like that. But it really sucks. I've done so many official attempts at this point where the attempt felt like perfect and then there's like 7 DNFs and I'm just like, the hell. Yeah, I think Draco, my previous best streamed attempt was also 62 out of 64, but it was like the first ever 60 pointer when I got that. I've never seen this type of bad streak before. I've definitely had bad streaks like that. I think it's probably happens to everybody. Have you been doing small multis or anything like that? That's like what I did to get out of the funk from last weekend. Just like 2 passing 9. Yeah, or maybe try what Ro's doing. Ro is saying that it's like really helpful for him to like do super slow NN of N numbers, which he like did today. Like doing things just for like a designated small amount of time where you're like specifically going for super high accuracy. I can definitely see how there's like a benefit of that. Have you ever had the word salad thing that Elliot talks about? Yes. I still had that like even a little bit on this attempt, but the reviews basically serve to like turn the word salad into something meaningful. But I definitely think going slow and maybe even like forcing yourself to do like a 1 pass like 5 cube attempt or something until you get it, it'll like doing things like that will force you to like get back in the habit of actually making good stories. If you've like there's a weird thing that happens where your pace from trying to go faster and faster, your pace just kind of like your brain starts focusing too much on going fast and you neglect the story making muscle. And I definitely have had that before. I would like maybe just recommend doing like attempts at home where you're just doing fewer passes than you normally would feel comfortable with and go slow enough so that you can actually make meaningful stories, and then build back up. Right. 5 blind time. Dang it. One freaking letter pair, dude. Come on. I want to get it. Nice, dude. It was like a minute-long pause, probably. What's up, Abhijit? You lost 40k points. I wonder who won all the points. That's funny. Oh, thanks for the 60 bits, by the way, Speedy. I just saw that. Sorry. Is it harder to do 5 blind than multi? No. I would say no. I think multi is like a bit more stressful than 5 blind. Just with like the sub-hour aspect. When you're attempting something that is probably going to be close to the hour, it's a bit stressful. So in that sense, I would say multi is harder. Also, multi just requires so much more overall energy than like 1 5 blind, obviously. I mean, yeah, 5 blind's harder than like 2 cube multi, but in general, I think, yeah, multi is a lot more energy and effort. What am I going to use? I was so unsure about that. There was like one possible slice mistake, and it was so 50-50. I ended up going with the wrong thing. That attempt also had a shit ton of pauses. Unfortunate, because it was a pretty good scramble. Oh well. Missed a move in centers? No. I did an extra slice during wings. That scramble sucked. What cube? It's the Vin 5x5. That scramble was really bad. 21 alg centers, 12 alg wings, 12 alg 3 blind. So 24 plus 21, 45. Nice. I'm just gonna do one more 5 blind for now and then do some 4 blind. Are you gonna use it in comp? I haven't tried to get the logo off, but I'm gonna do a big cube clean out session pretty soon where I clean out my Vin 4 and GAN 5. And maybe also Vin 5. And I will see which ones feel best after that and maybe try to remove the Vin logo, yeah. Can I go over your palaces and how they work? It's hard to do briefly. I have 6 memory palaces. Each of them have 72 rooms each, which essentially for me means 144 distinct locations in each palace. So 144 locations times 6. So yeah, I can't go over my palaces. It would take forever. But the way I memorize in palaces is I have like sections of 2 locations. So like the first room I ever made was the bedroom that I lived in San Francisco when I first made a palace, and the first locus, the first place, was my bed, and the second was my desk. So I just memorize all of the edges as a sentence/story thing while thinking about my bed, and then I memorize all of corners as a sentence story thing while thinking about my desk. And that's it. And I do the rest the same for packs of 2 locations. Dude. Okay, well, it was DNF anyways. I had a feeling I was remembering a corner pair wrong. This is a weird DNF. Looks like multiple mistakes. What are the overall themes? My first two memory palaces are all real life places. So the first one started out as just like places that I've lived and like my school that I was going to, the university I was going to. And then it kind of branched out to just like neighborhoods around where I lived and then skate parks. My second one was like all friends' houses, like just people that I know's houses. And then that eventually had to branch out into just like, like familiar paths around the city I lived in. And then my second two were all Super Mario 64, and my fifth was Odyssey, and my sixth is more just like random stuff all around San Diego. I feel like 5 blind's too much right now. My brain's going slow. Put all my effort into the multi. I'm so curious what caused my like horrendous multi-performance last weekend. I wish I could like know for sure what caused it. I think it's very likely it was just like I fucked with my circadian rhythm and somehow that matters a lot. But it was just like impossible for me to memo things long term. It was so weird. Feels like exactly what happened at Worlds last year. Doing 5 blind, let's go. What do you like global around now? Okay. There's no way this is a success. Dude. That was like the slowest memo ever because I got 10 alg wings. Yeah, and I was like convinced that there were not enough solved pieces for that to be 10 algs. And it was 10 elgs. And then I DNF'd by 1 corner pair, recalled wrong. You're sub 6. Nice. First pass at plus centers was a minute. So that's like 30 seconds gone right away. Oh, from the mistrace? Yeah. Mistracing is very hard to eradicate. I still mistrace somewhat frequently. I think like the only way to make it happen less often is just frequent practice. Do I recommend BLDB and learning Nightmare? I do not recommend learning Nightmare. BLDB can be a good resource if you're looking for like alternate algs to certain cases. But I would not recommend learning Nightmare, no. Especially not to someone who's new to 3-style. Absolutely not. What? I skipped a pair. Dang. That was 26 elgs. Yo, thanks, Cashy Kid. Appreciate it. Hope you learn 3-blind. My encouraging words for everybody when they're learning 3-blind is it is by far the hardest when you're first learning. It gets easier and easier and easier. I remember it being like kind of stressful for me when I started out. It's just like so much mental effort, but it gets so much easier when you practice frequently, and it's super fun. That was 25. 3 alg corners, 13 alg wings, 9 alg centers. Follow up. Why are you against the Nightmare alg? Is it personal preference of the fact that they eliminate L moves, etc.? Eliminating L moves is not bad, but the reason I discourage it, especially for beginners, is because they're non-intuitive algs, largely. It's, like, some of the non-intuitive algs may be good and arguably better than what most people use, but I absolutely would not recommend it for beginner because you're going to be learning a shit ton of non-intuitive algs that are really hard to do good and fast when, like, that's just most likely going to demotivate you from finishing learning 3-style. And on top of that, fully, like, purely eliminating L moves and just having pure RUS stuff is just not practical because, like, you're going to miss out on a lot of good algs. Any tips for helping remember letter pairs? It's so hard. The main thing that's going to help with that is, I mean, making good stories helps, like interesting, funny stories, which having good letter pairs helps with that, but mostly it's just experience. And also the main reason it's hard for you to remember right now is just because tracing is slow when you're a beginner, and that makes it a lot harder to memorize things quickly, because tracing takes like a lot of your brain power, and it's slow, meaning you have longer time in between reviewing things, which means like probably all dropped out of your brain from when you last thought about it. If you're tracing really fast, it's much easier to remember things. Thanks, Blackbird. Is Blind Base plus Anki better? I use Blind Trainer. I feel like Blind Trainer is good for practicing in that way, like letter pair to alg. But I've never had to use these websites. I just like know what most people use, so it's hard for me to recommend much. Like if you're talking about Blind Base or Blind DB, I've used Blind DB like a little bit. Blind Base, I've barely used at all. But honestly, just try to not stress it too much, like what you're doing from the beginning, because even if you like start out with a bunch of bad stuff when you first learn 3-style, you can just like gradually fix things as you go. So like don't stress about like doing the perfect thing from the get-go, because you're probably just going to burn yourself out. I just make up stories as I go. The letter pairs I use are always the same for, like, I use the same word for every letter pair all the time. But I originally never, like, made a list. I just, like, from doing a lot of attempts, came up with a consistent letter pair list in my head. But, yeah, the stories, I have, like, story structure that I've come up with over time to, like, make it less likely that I switch to letter pairs in a story or things like that. But yeah, try to not have like 2 letter pair words that are like too similar to each other. Like, yeah, I don't know. Don't have like dog for a letter pair and then like your own dog's name for another letter pair, because it'll make it like very likely that during recall you'd be like, was it dog or was it like lucky? You know, things like that. Not sure what that was. I'm going to do some 3 blind. I'm going to try using the Waylong V11 again. I put silk in it since last session, and it definitely helps slow it down a bit, I think, but let's see. Let's see if it's actually better, like performance-wise. This cube is just like so satisfying to use, but I still am struggling to control it well. Recently intuitively learned both of AP, PA edge comms. For the record, I don't know what these letters mean because I don't use spefs. I'm assuming you use spefs. I don't use spefs, so I don't know what these letters mean. So ask me about like the case with like piece locations, or else I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, that was good. How often you go live? I want to use you as motivation to get better at blind. Unfortunately, I go live in like kind of like spurts of time. So like I've been going live the last few days, every day. Before my last comp, I was going live like every day for at least a week. I want to like do it more consistently. There's just like things that get in the way. UB to RB and backwards. All right, I'll show you in a sec. What? Oh, I did an inverse comm. Rip. That would have been good. That would have been 11 to 10. UB to RB, I use U, R, E, R prime, U to R, E prime, or not R, U, L prime, E, L, U to L prime, E prime, L, U. And for the other direction, it's just the inverse. So U prime, L prime, E, L, U2, L prime, E prime, L, U prime. JG, I use jog. I actually, no problem, LSC. I do a pretty advanced thing for multi-blind. Not, like, to avoid confusing you, I won't explain what it is, but I have a system where I have multiple letter pairs, or multiple words for every letter pair. And so for JG, I have like a bunch of different options depending on what buffer I'm using, long story short. So jog is the first one, like jogging, which is good because if you start getting like better at multi, you'll start realizing like it's really useful to have things where they can be like multi-use. So like jog, I find to be really good because it can be versatile in that you can have it like X thing is jogging, or you can, if you like need a person specifically in that part where JG comes up, you can have a jogger. So you just like think about a jogger, like a stereotypical runner. My other JG letter pairs are Django, jargon, and juggalo, and giraffe and jaguar. This is actual, like, this cube is main potential. If it just, like, gets a little slower, I'm actually, like, feeling like I can control it now. Yeah, I was unsure if I did that or not. Oh, sorry, I just missed your message, LSC, UB to RF. It's very similar, but U, L, E prime, L prime, U to L, E, L prime, U. Dude, that was 8 alg edges, and I failed to get any of the floats. Extremely cringe. If I paid you, would you help me learn 3-blind? I'm dead serious about learning it, but it's still so hard. Yeah, I would do that. I have coached for money before. Email me. What? Oh. Yeah. No problem, LC. Ooh, that was sick. It was 10-9 with a 2E2E and a lot of cancels. Dude, I said the wrong letter for a pair, and I kind of like reasoned out that it didn't make sense and what it probably was. That's funny. Dang it. You emailed me? Cool. What's up, Riptoa? I might be busy kind of soon for the coaching thing because the World Championship is coming up and I'm leaving in a week. A little over a week, but yeah, like 9 days. But maybe before that, yeah. Or after. Strange question. What do you reckon is the approximate ratio of characters / people to objects to ideas in your memo bank? This is a good question, and I don't know like the optimal number, but my UF letter pair list is like 30-ish% people, and the rest are objects and verbs. I think it's really good to have verbs. Ideally, you have a lot of things that can be like versatile and can act as like multiple different things, like fish. I use fish for FH, and that can be fisherman or fish or fishing. But ideally, you have a lot of stuff like that, and you're just like versatile with it. But definitely avoid having too many people. Having too many people is like very bad. Like if your letter pair list is like over, if it's like over 60% people, you're gonna have a hard time, because you're gonna like frequently get stories of like 3 people in a row, which is like just so annoying and hard to make memorable. Like it's doable. You can be like, oh, this person told this person they're looking for this person or something, or like this person found this person, put them on top of this person. You can have like rules for it, but it's just not as memorable as like normal stories. So like I would say aim for like 30% people. Definitely try to not have it over like 50%. You're going to Seattle too? Cool. You've only been to one comp before. Wow. That's your second ever. That's pretty exciting. I have been to 121 cubing competitions. Oh my god, dude. Nice. 3 moves away. Time is it? Alright, I gotta go soon. Let's try to get an AO12 and then I'll dip. Rip. Never thought of verbs before in that way. Yeah, it's a really useful thing, and I know other top multi-blinders do similar things. Yeah, too many people it just makes your life really annoying. Oh, that's wrong. Wow, that's really far off. Also, I have my full letter pair list public, and it's like my full floating letter pair list, so I have like many ideas for words. If you're looking for ideas, just check that out. Also, try using ChatGPT if you're having a hard time coming up with ideas for stuff. I wish I had ChatGPT when I was making that list. Damn it, dude. 2 extra columns. That was floated to 8, and then I totally ruined it. Nice. This cube is so good. I actually might main this cube. Oh, I think I forgot to DNF the 18. Pretty sure that was DNF. It just like, it just avoids lockups. It's crazy. How did you memorize 250 cubes at once? A lot of time and practice and a lot of memory palaces. I actually did 300 as well. And I got 289 out of 300 in 11 hours. Dang it. Had a feeling I did that wrong. Alright, if I DNF again, I'm just ending because the AO12 is dead. You. Yeah, I should probably upload that YouTube video. That was live streamed, but the VOD decayed and I forgot to save it. But I have the full video unlisted on YouTube. It's just like unedited. Oh my god. Alright, I'm not ending. I'm trying again. What made you do blind events? It was, I mean, largely because it was just like, it seemed super impressive and I wanted to see if I could do it. And then when I like got really into it, it was just really fun how fast and huge the improvement is, and it also felt really cool and like mystical how you can just improve. You can like force immediate improvement just by like memorizing things faster, which is cool. Just like remember it. What's up, gamer boy Gavin? Wow. That was 12 floated to 9. Dang it, dude. I like had a slight feeling that that happened. Freaking wide F moves, dude. What? Any goals for Worlds? Yeah, I mean, I hope, I of course hope that 2023 Worlds doesn't repeat. I really feel a lot more confident that it won't this time, especially given that I just like did one safety attempt for Worlds practice and I got a 60-pointer that would be world record. I really hope that just continues. Ideally, I podium 4 blind, second place, 5 blind, first place multi. And just like do well in 3 blind finals. What's would? If there were one thing in your life that you could have changed about cubing, what would you have done and why? I would make it more popular and like monetizable. I'm a new cuber and I'm trying to be able to do CFOP but stuck on F2L. Intuitive F2L is hard. Do you like Trump? No, I don't. Do you? Dang it. Yeah, I should probably just not answer questions like that, but that's like an unhinged first thing to ask in the chat. I almost just like wanted to entertain it, you know? You're leaving. See ya. What do you do if you don't mind me asking? I'm just figuring shit out right now. Dude, come on. I just like can't remember corners for the life of me. Yeah. No, I should probably not talk about politics in this stream because it is tempting. I like talking about politics, but yeah, I don't want to like make people uncomfortable. But for that guy to come up and be like, do you like Trump? And then be like, I'm leaving. That's pretty funny. I'm kind of glad I answered. But yeah, let's not. Thank you. What's up, Serena? Tiny Star 420. No, I know. It's a very unhinged thing to come in here and ask. Pretty funny, though. It's hard for me to, yeah, hard for me to not. Got the 4-flip. It's your 33-month anniversary? Holy crap. Oh, you did a sub. Did you? I don't see your sub. Me too, and I'm a board game designer to be. Oh, that's cool. Trying to get a game published. That's very exciting. I hope it gets published. I have been cubing for 11, close to 11 years. Yeah, Cashy Kid. Definitely, like, huge for new blinders that ChatGPT is a thing now. Back in my day, we had to just think of letter pairs on our own. Aw. It's your Prime sub? Oh yeah, there it is. You redeemed a tiny 3x3 blind solve. Wow. Did you just gift a sub? Did you do that on purpose? Thank you for the gift sub. I hope you didn't just gift a sub by accident while you were trying to do your Prime sub. Well, thanks. My own girlfriend just gifted a sub to my YouTube or my Twitch stream. That's fun. Thanks. All right, you deserve this tiny 3x3 blind solve. Gonna try game development. That's cool. My stepdad used to work for Sony Online Entertainment, and he worked on EverQuest and EverQuest 2. And I interned for him for my senior project in high school. So I have like small amount of experience in game development. Isn't thinking better if the words are supposed to be personal? Yeah, for sure. I would definitely say so. But ChatGPT is probably still good if you're like really struggling to come up with words for something. Especially if you're doing like full floating letter pair lists where it gets very hard to think of things when you're in like the 2000th word. For QX or whatever. Okay. Tiny blind solve. You ready? I did this yesterday too. Took me 3 tries. God damn it, dude. Do a square one solve? Okay, I'll do that after. My favorite SNES game, I would say, is Donkey Kong Country 2. Oh, I'm gonna solve it, Serena. That doesn't count. That doesn't redeem the solve that you paid for. Also, dude, damn it, I just remembered that I didn't loop the music. So there's just been no music this whole time. Cringe. Just been listening to me this whole time. Boring. Okay. Let's go. I was like very close to the time that I got yesterday. Didn't even realize there was no music because your stream is so entertaining. Wow, thank you. Yeah, I have speedrun DKC too. My PB is 44 minutes and 42 seconds, I think. Something like that. And I've done 102%, and my PB in that is like an hour 39. I've streamed it before, but it's been a long time. Talking about Square One, I don't think anyone here knew that GAN Square One prototypes are being handed out to popular Square Ones. I've seen the videos of that on YouTube. Thank you, TinyStar420. And thank you for the subs. Just did a few slices on the GAN Square One prototype at NAC. NAC last year? It was around that long ago? I did not realize it was around that long ago. I'm going to do a little bit of Square One. I got PB AO12 and AO50 and AO100 today in Square One. Fun fact. I did a lot of it this morning. I do not use CSP, by the way. Oh god, I did that wrong. Somebody insult? I actually watched his most recent video recently, like the Break the Targets video. That was fun. I don't watch a lot of his stuff, but yeah, I like his videos. I'm not like super into it. Yeah, Worm V11 is the 3x3 I was using. I do know full cube shape, yeah. Do you think you can do a solve and say out loud what you're thinking so I can understand what you think? Sure. I've done that before on stream, but it's been a long time. I'll do it in a sec. I just want to do a few more Square One solves. Oh my gosh. This is bad. Close to finishing it. I just like learned it intuitively after just like doing a bunch of solves. I may not do every case like perfectly, but I think I do basically like something more or less pretty good for everything. Like if I'm doing something suboptimally, it's probably like one slice suboptimal at worst. Parity again. Oh my god. You got the VHS? Oh, that's cool. That was such a cool reveal. That's so funny. That's a really cool idea for his channel. To do VHS releases of like his most popular videos. That's such a cool idea. I wonder if he like came up with that on his own or if other people have done that. What's up, Riptide Cubing? Also, I wonder like how much actual business he's gonna get for that, because like how many people actually have a VHS still? Dude. Can't stop getting parity. I'm just like suddenly 5 seconds slower than I was this morning too. That's funny. Even with parity, I should be getting like 15. I think I was just especially locked in earlier. There. That's a good one. Yeah, Draco, me too. I actually beat my square one PR, which was my oldest PR, 8 years, 8-year-old PR. I beat that pretty recently with a 1368 square one average. Do I have a job? I don't have a conventional job, no. But I have passive income. Let's just say that. All right, I'm gonna say this out loud for Kashi. Is that who it was? Bees watering ivy turned to goo, and it was like Yoda sick off island jam. Yoda sick off island jam. I might have just missed a move. Bees watering ivy turn to goo. Probably missed a move. Yeah. You're buying one just for this? That's funny. I wonder how much they cost nowadays. So yeah, that one was, it was like BE, bees, WA, water, IV, like the plant. GU is goo. Anyways, GU is goo, so, and then the last target was R, so bees watering ivy, it turned into goo, and they were like so that's the story I made. And then I memorized edges of audio, so it was just YD, SK, and then a flip. And so I would just memorize the flip, like visually, yeah, I would just remember there's a flip right there. And then I floated UB, and it was ILJM, so I was just like, Yoda sick, off is the flip. I wouldn't say it out loud, though. Or I wouldn't even say it in my head, I would just picture it. Yoda sick, flip, island jam. Yeah, my mic definitely picked that up, I'm sure. I actually have some places as words. LSC. I have like Australia and New Jersey, Imperial Beach and San Jose. And I just like when I have those, I just like think about the kind of people who live in those places, weirdly enough, and it works. Ugh, that was really bad memo. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying, Kashi Kid, is like the faster you get, the less you'll have to remember. Like for the less time you'll have to remember everything. It just gets easier and easier. It's like a snowball effect of the memo getting easier because you don't have to hold on to it as long, and and you don't like have a super big amount of time in between reviewing all the letter pairs once you've traced everything and stuff. And tracing gets easier and easier once you go faster because it's easier to remember where you haven't hit yet if you need to cycle break, stuff like that. Thanks, Simon. Good night. Show me how much I have to improve in memo. Like I can trace almost that quickly, but remembering is another question. Interesting. That scramble was absolutely horrendous. Cope. I'm doing 5 more solves, and then I'm done. Scramble sucked, but I'm a god. That scramble was horrible, and I also did horrible. It is so annoying how many people in this area have loud as fuck cars. I heavily guessed on letter pair. Compensating, yeah. Dude, these scrambles are horrible. CS timer is telling me to just like put the cube down. Can you be good at 3 blind if you're not good at regular 3x3? Sure. I've known people who are not sub 20 on 3x3 and average about the same on 3 blind, like low 20. Yeah. Your speed on 3x3 basically has nothing to do with 3 blind speed. It's a totally different method and you don't really have to turn fast. Okay. Three blind is very fun. I love 3 blind. It's my second favorite event. Dead serious about learning? Let's go. I'm glad I could inspire, and I will respond to you in a little bit. I'm going to look for a raid target. Glad you like the stream. I feel like my Zoomer neighbors are having a party. Alright, I'm the only cuber streaming. I think I'll just raid Carney Jared probably. Don't think anybody else I know is streaming. Nope. Okay. Raiding Carney Jared. Got your first 3-blind success in 7 minutes? Let's go, dude. First is multi? Yeah, my first favorite event is multi. Multi is the best event. It's so cool and complicated. Thanks, LC. Okey doke. Yeah, that's one of the best things, especially for multi-blind, Miguel. Pulling off the blindfold and seeing like almost all cubes solved is like an amazing feeling, or like more cubes solved than you expected. Oh. Anyways, thanks for watching, y'all. Have fun in Carney Jared's stream. He's doing Clone Hero. He's insane at that game. All right, bye.